Hallelujah. यार ये क्या हो गया मेरे माइक को? रुको यार, माइक चेक करते हैं। अब तो ठीक है मैं। ओके, मुझे जाके लिखना पड़ता है सबके लिए। आई एम गेटिंग लाइव टुडे। ओह सॉरी। भाई जीपीयू लोड क्या हो गया इसका? समझ गया क्या होता है इसकी वजह से। आज कोई नहीं आएगा बस। हाँ, मुझे नहीं लगता आज कोई आने वाला है। हाँ ओके, कोई बात नहीं, हम गेंशिन तब तक खोल लेते हैं, इतना कोई इशू नहीं होना चाहिए उस चीज़ में। लॉगिन मांगेगा मेरे को लगता है। हाँ,
Whoa! Now this is fancy! The Opera at Eclairs. What a place to hold a performance! No wonder Linny and Lynette were looking forward to it. Huh. Looks like there's a lot of people standing around the fountain up ahead.
Oh, Archon, please bless us with a bright and healthy child. We pray.
I don't know why you always feel the need to ask so much. I'll be happy as long as our child is healthy and lives a peaceful life.
I guess if they're our kid, then there's no doubt they'll turn out smart.
Maybe this is one of the customs in Fontaine. There sure are a lot of couples here.
Vache.
What's wrong?
Vache. Vache.
No, Paimon didn't say anything.
Welcome to the Fountain of Lucine. All the water flowing through Fontaine.
Lynette!
Lenny,
Right.
what do you mean? There are a lot of
Hey, you're not trying to scare Paimon.
I see. In fact, you might not be imagining.
It's because of his sense of...
When do you cry?
Wait, what? What does that have to do with anything?
Just answer me. When do you cry?
When Paimon's really sad? Oh, and when Paimon's super happy.
Super
and
happy.
also when
Hello,
Paimon's really,
Plexi.
really scared.
Then you should understand that tears contain your most intense emotions. Like I just mentioned, the Fountain of Lucine is where all the flowing water in Fontaine converge. So maybe what you heard was the intent.
So, what did the voice say? Huh. If you were hearing their emotions, then Paimon wonders what happened to them.
Rather than worrying about them, we should worry. Don't let that calm look of.
Oh, right. That makes sense. Let's go in and see Linny.
Yo, Plexi.
Traveler and Paimon, good to see you. I knew you two would come.
Are you kidding? We wouldn't miss it for the world. We've been looking forward to it.
I can tell, judging by how early you've arrived. But you're actually right on time. The audience still hasn't started entering the venue yet, which means now is the perfect chance for us to take you to the best seats in the house. Wait just a moment. I'll fetch the tickets. The Opera House has assigned seating, so you always have to make reservations. I've already reserved.
Ooh, front row seat.
Don't mention it. There's no need to keep thanking me.
Hey, Lenny! Could you come over here and take a look?
Oh, I'll be right there. Seems there's an issue with the stage props over there. That's Cal.
Yeah, we'll just go to our seats. You go ahead, Lenny.
Damn.
Oh, these should be our seats. Come. Hey, traveler. Maybe we should. Oh, you.
Excuse me, I did not realize you felt awkward. I am terribly sorry. I would be perfectly happy to chat with you if that is what you would like.
Oh, wait, that's not it, Paimon's. Sorry. Oh, Paimon's got it. You're also here early and sitting in the front. Are you a friend of Linny's too?
A friend, you say? Well, if Mr. Linney would like to be my friend, I would be more than happy to reciprocate.
Oh, so you're not friends with Linny then? Oh, this is getting more awkward by the second. Paimon nearly forgot to make her introduction. Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We just arrived in Fontaine.
It is an honor to meet you two. I have heard of your deeds across Tevat. And as required by proper etiquette, I will also introduce myself. I am...
Oh, Monsieur Nervillet. What an honor it is to have you here to see my show.
Ah, Mr. Linney. I should say it is in fact an honor for me to see your performance in person.
Wait, Nervillet? Could he be...
I saw you all chatting just now, but it seems you still don't know who Monsieur Nervillet is. Allow me to introduce you to Fontaine's Chief Justice. That seat is always reserved for him. It wouldn't be too much to say that he's the symbol of justice and honesty here in Fontaine.
Whoa! Sorry for being so rude just now. Paimon had no idea you were such an important person.
No offense taken. Being Chief Justice is merely what I do for work. Nearly every person has their usual reserved seat, so I'm not so special, really. And by the way, I should probably let you know, even though I would prefer not to. There's someone sitting up there in the VIP seats that has been striking a pose for quite a while now. I believe she is trying to give you a most elegant and impressive first impression. So I think you should take notice of her sooner rather than later, otherwise she may become flustered.
Huh? Oh, it's Farina, the Hydro Archon. Huh. She sure has a smug and satisfied look on her face. Guess she has no idea that you saw right through her act.
Very good. That is for the best. No need to pay her any more attention. We may now enjoy the show.
Huh? So is this what things are like between the Chief Justice and the Hydro Archon?
All right, please wait just a moment longer. I've pretty much finished my preparations, and the performance will start as soon as the audience has made their way to their seats.
Yay! The show's finally about to start! Paimon can hardly wait! Paimon's never seen a real live magic show before.
जो फाइट कर रहा होता हूँ उस टाइम पे क्या कर रही होती है?
Oh, they're dimming the lights. The show must be starting. Sorry. Paimon will try to stay quiet.
Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epicles. I am the star of today's show, Linny. And over here is my sister, Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please, let's give her a warm welcome.
Hello, everyone.
I know she may seem to be a little sleepy right now, but that's just a sign that she's nervous.
Whatever.
Now, some of you may be thinking, two vision holders who can freely manipulate elemental powers performing magic is not true magic at all. So, I would like to take a moment to assure you that elemental powers will have nothing to do with what you will witness on the stage today. Both Lynette and myself have removed our visions for the show. That way, even the gods won't be able to help us.
Oh, good point. That's what makes the show real magic.
Now, without further ado, let the show begin. Lynette will now exit the stage to make some preparations. I know you might miss her, but don't worry. She'll be coming right back on stage momentarily. Perhaps in an unexpected way. I'm sure she'll be stealing the spotlight soon enough. Oh, and before I forget, there's one more thing I should say. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. A magician's greatest skill is making things disappear or appear. The possibilities are endless. But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's time for something truly extraordinary, don't you think? This one's a little tricky. Using this water tank, I shall make my sister vanish completely, right before your very eyes. It's actually quite simple. She'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top. Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully. With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do. Lynette, are you still there? Don't go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Uh-huh.
दो लिनेट है क्या?
Whoa! What in the world's
रुको मैं मूड क्या है?
How did he do that? Paimon didn't seem to do anything. Wasn't Lynette inside the water tank? How did she disappear and then reappear out of nowhere?
सॉरी हो गया था.
If we could see easily through his tricks, then that would mean that his skills are still lacking. To appreciate magic, you should focus on the show happening on stage, rather than getting caught up in trying to see that which has been intentionally hidden.
Guess you're right. Paimon couldn't believe her eyes when Lynette reappeared. Amazing!
Thank you everyone. I'm glad you enjoyed that performance. But our magical journey has only just begun. I've prepared even more astonishing surprises for everyone here. The magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen. I'm sure many of you are thinking that escaping the water tank was impressive enough. But Lynette is still my assistant after all. In which case, I have ample time to make all necessary preparations. So, for my next trick, I will require the participation of one lucky audience member. Please, if my assistants could bring out the magical boxes now. There are 2 boxes and only 2 boxes. One is here and one is there in the aisle among the audience. I'm sure many of our clever audience members have already guessed our next magic trick. A swap! Our lucky audience member and I will each enter a magic box. After 1 minute, we will each emerge from the opposite box. Now please, everyone pay very close attention to the box you see here. Don't give me any chance to make a move.
Wow! How's he gonna do this? Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks, or does Lenny have actual superpowers?
The lucky audience member will be generated by this random number selector. It selects numbers entirely at random. Even I don't know who will be chosen to participate. Now then, let's begin. Let me see. Oh, row 7, seat 3. Congratulations! You now have the chance to experience magic firsthand for an entire minute. Please, come forward. My assistant will take you beside the magic box. I'm sorry, it might be a little cramped inside, but no need to feel nervous. We've carefully arranged everything for you to be as comfortable as possible. You don't need to do anything, but no matter what strange things may happen, don't come out of the box. If the magic is interrupted, who knows where you might end up? You might even find yourself in the Fortress of Meropide.
Oh, okay.
All right. Before
डरा
I
क्यों रहा है
enter the
उसको
magic
पहले?
box, there is one more thing I need to ask the audience to do. Could you all give me a countdown? Like this. 60, 59, 58. Just keep counting down. You can go a little faster or slower if you like. I won't be able to see anything in the pitch black box, so I'll be relying on your voices to know when time is up. Oh, and no tricks now. If you quickly count from 60 in just 30 seconds, then I'll be in a tough spot.
Ooh! Paimon kinda wants to count faster after hearing...
No, that won't do. I can see it in your eyes. You still can't be trusted. Let's practice together. Come on, repeat after me. 60, 59, 58.
60, 59, 58!
That's right, perfect. Keep it going. All right, I'll see you all on the other side once you've finished counting.
54, 53, 52? Huh? Why aren't you counting, Nervalet?
I am counting in my head. I think things are exciting enough in here as it is. Merely a consequence of my identity and personality. Do not worry about me. Just enjoy the show.
Oh, alright. You looked so serious that Paimon thought you might be feeling uncomfortable or something. 40, 39, 38!
Mr. Lenny, are you all right in there? Is everything ready?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just double-checking the direction of the magic. It would be a disaster if we get sent to the wrong places. For example, mid-air right above the audience.
Even though he's saying that, Lenny doesn't seem to... Ah! What was that noise? Did you hear it too? Not sure. Anyway, 25! 24! 23!
What's wrong, Mr. Lenny? I can still hear you moving in there.
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration. I'm trying to fix it, but it's pitch black in here. I can't tell left from right.
Never mind the decorations. There's no time for that. The show is what's important.
No, that's unacceptable.
19!
It seems things aren't quite going as... It feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's all right. My 10 seconds and change is till...
10!
Almost there now. Whew. Swapping two people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one? I can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? No, that's not it. I'll try again.
7!
Hey, slow down! Honestly!
5! 4! 3!
Whoops! That doesn't count!
0!
Ta-da!
What happened?
क्या हो गया? Hello, Adya. Welcome to the stream. I love you.
Mr. Lenny, you're going to use...
What happened?
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl was...
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all the performers. Seal the exits. No one is allowed in or out at this time.
Yes, that's...
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the bottom of this soon. Unfortunately, the person who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead. His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Linny's magic troupe. Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the tank to fall onto the stage. As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box, rather than the guest from the audience. And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl is nowhere to be found. It appears that this incident was not merely some mishap with the performance. And there are many indications that it is connected with the case of the serial disappearances of young women.
The serial disappearances case?
That's the case
I know the truth. I
He
can
is
see
Goven.
through the whole thing.
देखेंगे she is
Really?
Goven.
Using such a shallow and obvious mystery as his finale. Did he really underestimate us that badly? I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Linney, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances case.
Huh? Why me? This whole thing was an accident.
No, this all occurred during your magic show, now that I think about it. That whole speech about magicians making things disappear was nothing more than a
That can't be right. How can Lenny do this? He was in the box on the stage the entire time. We can even hear his voice. Besides, before the show, he told us that he would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearances.
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute an accusation against Mr. Linney and his associates, and that you are pressing charges?
I just think that he... Well, I think it might be a little early to talk about formally pressing charges.
But what Lady Farina said just now makes perfect sense. Looks like she's gonna personally deliver justice.
A kidnapping and murder carried out under the cover of a magic show. Lady Farina said it all.
I mean, of course, my dear people.
Sure.
That's right. I mean you, traveler. You'll support Lenny, won't you? After all, he was the one who helped you the first time. Then there's no problem at all. You know, the Traveler and I already had a duel the first time we met. But with Lenny's help, our little duel ended in a draw. But draws really are the most boring possible outcome. So, no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And what better place to hold such a
It wasn't a draw. She obviously...
I understand. Charges have now been pressed, and as such, a trial is in order. Well, Traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. But putting her dramatic rhetoric aside for a moment, I would like to ask you, are you willing to act as Mr. Linney's attorney and defend him? Very well. The trial will be held a day from now in the Opera House. Both sides may investigate the scene to build their cases and search for the truth. Linney and his troupe are all potential suspects and shall remain within the Opera House. The audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once they have been cleared by the guards.
A day isn't that long. Let's see what kind of case this big shot Outlander can build in such a short amount of time.
Lenny!
Sorry about everything that happened.
Of course! Who would have...
Yeah, I'm a little shaken up myself. I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talking. Tell me, do you think I could possibly be the murderer? Good to hear. Thank you so much for trusting me. I'm sure everyone sees me as the biggest suspect at this point. But if you ask me, the whole thing is mysteries layered upon mysteries, such that all that's left is confusion. I don't know whether what happened there on the stage was purely an accident. As for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, I'm afraid I don't have any answers either. If someone tampered with my performance, then we need to figure out what they did. Even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull all that off in just 1 minute.
Which is precisely why we need to investigate. As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible. Paimon bought them when we were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Pretty cool, huh? Don't worry, Paimon used her own savings to buy them. It wasn't...
I think they look cute on you, Paimon.
You have good taste, Lynette.
That's the right attitude. Feeling depressed isn't going to help me now. I need to get back to my normal self. But with the guards watching our every move, it's going to be especially difficult for Lynette and I to... Good thing you agreed to be our attorneys.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, just leave it to us. Oh, since we're going to start investigating, Paimon has a question first. Where did Lynette go during the performance?
Ah, well... I'm afraid that would involve some of our essential trade secrets as magicians.
The secrets behind our magic are past saving, Linny.
I suppose you're right. The truth behind our tricks is going to be important evidence that will be weighted during the trial. 'Tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic show is a work of art. We've poured countless hours and spared no effort in perfecting it. But if revealing our secrets will help you uncover the truth behind what happened, then it will be well worth... We should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our...
Alright, let's go have a look while the investigation team's... Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
I see. You must be the
Huh? What do you...
Come with me and you'll see. The deceased is one of Linny's assistants, named Cal. Even though he hadn't joined the troupe long, he was hardworking and everyone generally liked him. The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the crowd engaged. As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box with Cowl inside it. This is the real mystery. We've already searched the scene. However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage, causing them to snap. All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard. If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned, and Linny is the most likely person to have access to all these areas.
But he doesn't have a motive.
Are you both good friends?
Well, you can't say we're good friends, but...
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince you. I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick of a magician is holding the audience. I've seen a lot of cases. And I tend to be pretty straightforward. Just know that I'm warning you for your own good. Anyway, you may investigate the scene of the crime yourselves if you're curious. Who knows, maybe you'll be able to come up with some new evidence.
So this is the rope that... The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly by firework, Why are you suddenly so serious, Traveler? Whoa. Look, most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left. Huh. Wait.
The investigation
See?
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Linny and Lynette with their side of the investigation. What were you saying about the number selector? There's something wrong with it?
You're trying to help them? That'll be a tall order.
Linny used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? The lucky girl that later disappeared. Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had it taken away for further inspection.
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. The machine picks that same number every time. I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether it's a trial or some performance. In other words, Linny knew who would be sitting where from the very beginning.
That much checks out. Linny reserved our seats for us too.
Bet you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Linny.
Even though it's bad for Linny's case, Paimon had better write it down.
The seats were all booked in advance. Sure. Her name is Halsey. Apparently, the Magic Troupe member. Simply put, she wasn't related to the Magic Troupe at all, which matches the features of the previous serial disappearances.
Were the victims of previous cases also chosen at random?
That's how it seems to us, in any case.
Okay.
No need to be so. It is of utmost importance that we get.
Whoever the murderer was, why would it be him? Gosh, no.
I see that you're if you find any new and interesting leads.
We don't have too many
Then what?
The thud? Oh!
Yes, exactly. It wasn't terribly loud, but I suspect that most people. It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Linny's trick with bated breath.
That makes sense.
I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Linny's accomplice. Lynette, perhaps. Jumping atop the water tank or something like that. And when the pyrotechnics went off, she cut the rope, sending the water tank crashing down.
Wait, wasn't the noise we heard too loud for that?
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough landing. Oh, that's true.
That does remind...
Hey, you! Yes, both of you.
Huh? You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to...
Well, you're right on the more about that one, but who are you?
Have you never heard of this? From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, you name it. Spina di Rosula, Dutt, and I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president. Though those who play by our rules call me Bob.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus. Demoiselle's various daily needs and affairs are under...
Huh? Boss.
My apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor...
No need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Navia.
Okay.
All merely That's right. I've always kept judging from the look of things. I find Linny an unlikely mastermind.
Really? We think so too! That's why we're looking for clues now. But how did you come to that conclusion?
Intuition, naturally. Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Linny without any decisive evidence whatsoever, wasn't she? But that's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the Justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from getting... Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels charges. And, of course, there was no way Farina was going to back down in that situation.
Sounds more like you just don't...
Well, what's your opinion? All right, I've answered your question.
Wait a minute!
Well, I say it does. But don't worry. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
Well?
And why would that be?
Most astute of you, demoiselle. I too think that the traveler's response was most excellent. No matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may be, the trials that go on stage here must be based in fact. And if that can be done, boss, then...
All right, that's quite enough, Maloose. Anyway, now, I need to make some preparations.
Wait! Since when did we become a...
Oh, well, I can be the assistant. Sure. Or your companion, if you like. I'm really not that fussy.
That's more like it.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe that Demoiselle's intuition will be instrumental in uncovering the truth. You wish to save a friend from false accusations, and we wish to unravel the disappearances. In this sense, our goals are...
You have a point. What about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
I have nothing to add.
Oh.
We'll be making some preparations first.
Sorry. No! Were you always guarding this entrance?
Yes, after the Chief Justice gave the order, so the missing girl couldn't have I doubt there.
How can you be so
Well, because I couldn't see Linny's performance from here, which was quite a shame. But still, I did not abandon my... We Melazines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
So, it's safe to say the girl could... All right, thank you for your help. This will be useful info. We've checked everything of note here at the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Linny's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see, shall we?
Understood. Then I will be going with you.
Very good. Thanks for being...
You may spare the pleasantries.
You've arrived. Who's this?
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got the firepower. Sorry. And these are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
Fine by me.
Oh, new helpers?
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such a large scale.
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world... But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform it more easily.
Huh. Weren't there balloons and other decorations here? Where did all that go?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
The back? You mean the...
Very good indeed. The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you... Exactly.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box?
I knew you'd figure out the 2 magic... See this... the box with the lucky odd...
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the...
I see. So that's the purpose.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley, all while the outer box would remain on stage as if nothing had ever changed.
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here, with which it would complete the rest of the step. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by...
Right! You were talking that whole time, and you even came out for a moment near the end!
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect. My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
And what about Lynette? Where was she?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh, interesting!
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And...
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who. And that's my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
So that's how it all worked!
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a crime. Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime, so Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them back up.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
इन्वेस्टिगेशन करा रहे हैं लिटरली.
Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh?
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick. But why would it have been left here?
Whatever it is.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which, why would there be water here?
Oh, Paimon knows! It's one of those tricks where you
Coming 2
pour
minutes.
water into a
जल्दी आ
jug,
जाओ
and,
फिर.
and here's a broken vase. Huh. Did the trolley knock it down while moving?
That can't be. The trolley moves along tracks from start to finish. It couldn't have hit the vase at this distance.
Let's note this down too and think of...
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing, right? Her clothes are here, but she's...
Right. And do you really need... Ugh, this is so confusing. is this place?
It seems someone could fit through here.
Could they?
Alone, perhaps.
But there are no other ways in or out of here. Oh, you're right. Let Paimon write that down.
Yes. Let's head back up.
पता नहीं यार क्या इन्वेस्टिगेशन करा रहे हैं.
Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns. Seems to me that there are several things that don't add up here.
Apologies for the wait.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the
They believe the odds of that are very low. The guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the...
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then. You know, like the kind you usually see in novels.
The plot thickens. Halsey's disappearance and Cowell's death are both quite inexplicable. No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Linny and Lynette.
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
Charges and then trial. So if the charges are upheld, they'll announce a sentence?
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, that's right. This is the statements from both sides. To put it simply,
This also precludes any kind...
once both sides have finished speak, then, finally.
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides?
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment, which is why people have great faith in the Chief Justice. Ah, yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place before the trial.
Huh? Why?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons related to the case.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties. Or that we might find, and even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case ahead of time.
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Whoa, whoa! There's no need for that! Paimon thinks they have a point!
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options, I'm afraid.
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. I mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over some...
Nice.
Breaking out suddenly... Just kidding! Just kidding! Paimon was...
What do you mean, no snack?
Huh?
Understood, demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the demoiselle's baking.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Good work, you two.
These three are quite the interesting group.
It was so stressful. क्या हो गया आज?
And Paimon thought it smelled... From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking part, but you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself. Beating the egg whites, grinding almonds, everything.
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouraging smile.
Paimon was just thinking.
Well, I don't underestimate beating egg weights, by the way. It's a real arm workout. Anyway,
Studied,
give these
tried,
a try.
stressed,
Fresh out of the
wow.
oven. There's
Tired
3
of
for each of us.
Only
Well, eating too many sweet treats might...
Tea is ready to be served as well. No need for concern.
अच्छा, by the way, मैं stream थोड़ी जल्दी बंद कर
All
दूंगा
right,
आज.
then. Down to business.
I want to change भैया.
However, we can
क्या
assume that
करना है
Linny
change
and
तेरे को?
Lynette were not... The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation, but resulting in the shattering of the vase. Perhaps the criminal thought that
Paimon thinks that makes sense.
True. But the
Huh. Could Halsey?
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off. Nor does she have any motive. The guard said that she has never had any dealings with the Magic Troop's members.
Were we not thorough enough in our search? From the sound of things, this is turning into an impossible case. Your macarons are amazing though, Navia. They smell great! They're nice and crisp and super sweet!
They are my specialty after all.
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right.
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
No! Being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough. Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? How could you? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach!
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by mistake. No big deal. Malus, set up the stove again if you would.
Huh? What are you doing?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
Well, this really is your hobby, huh?
Well, that's it for snack time. I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what we're looking for yet.
भूख लग रही है कुछ खाने को ऑर्डर ही नहीं कर सकता
As attorneys,
हाँ
I
लेनी का
suggest
केस
the two of you think the case over again. It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
All right, thanks for your help and for the snacks.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything new.
It's time to put our heads together. We've got to get our defense ready for the trial. Oh, it's probably gonna be a long and difficult case. There's no point in worrying about that now. We just need to...
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from the stands. Besides, I doubt Farina understands any.
Thanks, Navia.
Best of luck to you.
देखते हैं ना
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
To be honest?
No. We're already very...
Well, now, don't you all look disappointed? That was to be expected, of course. But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly...
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session. Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
आपके thoughts क्या हैं? Do you like Farina?
In
No, I
that
don't like
case,
Farina.
I call upon the prosecution.
I don't like her
Lady
personality.
Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Huh?
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
Well then, of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Vtuber's doing. Now it all makes sense.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in it. The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy. Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Hey, Linny, why didn't you tell us this before?
Order! Order! Mr. Linney,
Do you want
allow
spoilers?
me
I
to
don't want.
establish the facts. Lady Farina had first, when the thud was heard in the opera house, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true? Please
वो क्या लगता है
answer
कौन
my
होगा?
question, Mr. Linney.
मुझे तो वो चाइल्ड लग रहा है.
Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary?
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn.
पाइमा तो लग रही है.
This trial will reconvene.
So, in that case,
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry.
Paimon doesn't know where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys. Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad!
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain. I know you've clashed with the Vtui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset. But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face.
Thoughts on
I
Newlet?
knew if it weren't
भाई
for our respective
मस्त
identities,
भाई
we
हो
could
रहा है भाई
become
हो
good
रहा है
friends.
बंदे के अंदर हो रहा है बंदे के अंदर मुझे वैसे
That's
ही
why I
बंदे
didn't
पसंद
wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to. Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
Sorry. Please forgive us.
Well, you both say that, but... Right, let's hear your answer first, and no lies now!
Of course. I'll answer. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately? During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick, with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice. Which should have been impossible, of course. I was quite certain that I was the only one in the room. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought. After that, the homicide occurred
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can...
Well, Traveler, you decide. follow your lead however you choose.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense. Huh? Oh, Paimon thinks she gets what you mean.
मुझे लगता है हम वो वेंट में जाएंगे, मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है.
Both parties have returned to their positions. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
वेंट में जाना बेटर है, पूरे इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए वही बेटर है.
That took long enough. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linny's perspective. As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley, he did not realize. Finally, he used the at this time. So Linny afterward. And there you have it. That's...
Does the defendant's side have any objection? The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events. See. According to Linny, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel.
अक्षर भाई फरीना मत दिखा यार, मैं 50-50 हार गया, उसके बाद भी नहीं निकल पाया.
Linny went to... Linny did not take part in the underground altercation.
Attention! When the countdown started,
Hi,
Lenny
Min.
did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to... Once he reached that area, the crime scene! Finally, he reached...
कैसे हो? मैं ठीक हूँ. Welcome to the brain rot of Genshin. बस मेरा भी दिमाग लगने वाला है.
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
That's right!
My reasoning?
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell him! And, oh, well, your denial is very strict. Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? You're saying that he wasn't?
Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought? Are you sure we don't need to give this more wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance. This means that when the crime happened, Linny had already entered the basement via the vent. The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof! How do you like that?
I was so done with
Well
this
played.
while doing the first part.
To think you
हेलो
used
हाँ
such
बाद में
logic.
आऊँगा थोड़ी देर बाद.
Well then, if it wasn't Linny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Halsey is the missing person and an The deceased's name is Cow.
Huh? That can't be right. The killer was...
Oh!
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to No one entered or left. The deceased's name is... The sound we heard may have come from... The deceased's name is Cowell. Linny was not in the tunnel at the...
अरे यार दो गलत हैं. पहला वाला गलत है.
It would have been tough for both... Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel.
ये दोनों फिर से गलत हैं.
Linny was not in the tunnel at that... No one entered or left the opera... It would have been
क्या
tough
है ये?
for both people to...
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring...
I see how it is. So this was all just a bluff. And here I thought you had something to show for it. But it seems you're still far from the truth.
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider a different track? Just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's initial design.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very likely. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a...
Excuse...
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the The vase was not broken by chance.
क्या हो रहा है ये?
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped. Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind. If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed into water...
How could a person ever be transformed into what? Must magic tricks are ultimately just illusions.
Even so, the truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may... Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a...
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is nothing but a tactic for stalling the...
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us make more... Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are...
the primordials.
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice. The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of one of these tubes was labeled opera. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
You've got to be kidding! People dissolving into what?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence.
Huh. If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was targeting that girl... Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order!
Oh, bhai sahab.
It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results. But we cannot yet verify the veracity of these. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed off. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence. So please continue speaking.
Of course. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that.
The deceased's name is Cowell. The water from the primordial... Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box. Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another mat. The rope that held the water tank
क्या हो
up
रहा
was
है?
lit.
दिमाग फट जाएगा मेरा.
Now it seems like the... Lynette was in the magic... Now it seems like the water from the I remember there was some...
Ahem. It's Ace Detective Paimon. In the original plan, Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey. Afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel, and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence. I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case. And we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal effects.
What?
That can't be.
Oh, I see. Well, how wonderfully comedic to have your own counterattack only to come back and wound you. Does this not clear all doubt? My dear citizens, my loyal audience, allow me to present my reasoning and bring this performance to a swift close. Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent.
क्या बकवास है?
Having made modification that upon his ultimately, he now, am I right?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. Is this the end of the rope?
Oh no.
See, I think we've all. I believe this is indeed. Now then, Mike.
Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
Miss, I must ask you not to shout, and to respect the ongoing legal proceedings.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic? I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. Please, do the honors, Mr. Linny, if you would be so kind.
What in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fact that once everyone believes the illusion. Can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale? Come on, Linny and Lynette. Give it another but. As the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave.
I understand.
And voila!
Wait, isn't that Halsey?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me, and then before I knew it, she caught me.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowl. I admit it.
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there, and I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Linny was the one who caught me in the act.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief. Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was on to me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
This time, we need to tell the entire story from Lillian. The strange... The flower of... Lillian was...
And it's Ace Detective time! Having been selected, her panic only hearing the commotion, he did not know that Lily mistakenly believed the two broke with no way of escape.
सब लोग जा रहे हैं सोने के लिए। क्या गुड नाइट लगा रखा है? सब लोग सोने ही जा रहे हैं। क्या है ये? सब क्यों सोने जा रहे हैं?
She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses. Talk about a sneaky thief.
at this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
I'm tired, sorry. ठीक है, समझ गया. सो जा, कोई बात नहीं, सो जा.
Bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's
सो जा,
statements?
कोई बात नहीं, सो जा.
Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No, I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
Wow! Look at that!
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of... While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct, this case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision. As such, Linny and
Great work, partner.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake.
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes? I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself...
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to set up. Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know, and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes, our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent more off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about. The...
And now he can no longer
Such ruthlessness.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
So, we're just going back now? That's...
Traveler, Paimon, please wait.
Linny...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even, but still. Let me thank you, I guess. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That's all. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your...
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, would you mind hearing a story? It's about back when our parents first died. Lynette and I, to survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular.
Yo,
and we
Ameji,
could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come
late.
from for a time.
The stream will be ending now.
But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever. Before long, an aristocrat...
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
That was how we felt at first, too. But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention,
Sucks, yes.
which he would then use to
कल
expand
आना ना,
his
कल
social
10 बजे
circles.
stream होगी, कल 10 बजे exact stream करूँगा मैं.
Either.
कल I'll do Valo.
Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
Or Genshin, I don't know. Mostly Valo.
It took after one particular performance at a banquet. I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not. The answer he gave me was,
Oh no. So, but what if...
As far as outsiders are concerned, I managed to ferret out the location of the
MHK, you are in the Discord server, right? वहाँ पे मैं सब लिखता हूँ.
hurried through the night.
कब आ रहा हूँ, कब नहीं आ रहा
By
हूँ.
the time I leaped over the walls, avoided the guard, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood. And the nave.
So, she'd already taken care of that guy.
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer. The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here. I was hesitant to trust her. I had just been betrayed by nobles. But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
She has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis's power once she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
So, she believes in that prophecy too?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis.
Alright, I'm in. Yes?
Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy.
The point is, मैं जब लाइव होता हूँ तब मैं चैट में लिख देता हूँ उधर ही पे, मतलब जो मेन जो जहाँ पे जनरल चैट है उधर पे लिख देता हूँ. जब मेरे को स्ट्रीम नहीं करनी है या मैं टाइमिंग बोलनी है स्ट्रीम की, तो नोटिफिकेशंस करके एक है जहाँ पे मैं स्ट्रीम जब स्टार्ट भी कर देता हूँ वहाँ पे एक नोटिफिकेशन आती है, ठीक है, प्रॉपर ऐसे पॉपअप होता है वहाँ पे, तो उधर पे भी लिख देता हूँ मैं @everyone करके सब लिख देता हूँ कि स्ट्रीम हो रही है, कितने बजे हो रही है, नहीं हो रही है, क्यों नहीं हो रही है, वो सब कुछ लिख देता हूँ. ठीक है.
Everyone at Hotel Bouffe d'été, including the knave, has their roots in Fontaine. And we will always defend our homeland. To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
Like, what does MHK means? Can you explain something to me? What does MHK means?
It's alright, I understand. The only thing I can do, I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe what I'm doing is right. If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me.
Bye, Linny!
It's an acronym. What's an acronym? Acronym? What is an acronym?
What could the children be up to?
Oh.
Never mind. Let them do as they please.
Hey there! What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for it?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold? And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trick.
Oh, it's like MRI.
I see.
Magnetic resonance imaging.
I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers who have only arrived in Fontaine after all. Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Navia.
So it's like your full name, like in the first letter of your name.
And we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing... Wait, shall we have a
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal? Well, guess you really did treat us as partners, huh?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper end anyway. It would just be a meal.
You don't have to twist my arm.
Oh, wonderful.
All right then.
Okay. I understood now. Nice, quest done. Yes, quest done. I was waiting for. Okay, I don't have. By the way, how you liking?
Staring into my eyes is
Now is-
ill-advised. I can't
Butler.
promise you'll like what you
Those are
see.
like those guys are really good. Like they do the job. Like I like fun people. That's it. Okay, for now I'll switch. One second, guys. Okay, it's done. Oh, okay. Now it's done. हाँ बस खत्म हो रही है क्रैक्सी. हाँ, so anyways, it's almost 12:30. Yes, 12:30. I always end the stream as on like 12:30. So, कल I guess कल I will try to stream Valo, but I will like I have a tournament match tomorrow at 7, so I don't know वो कब खत्म हो रहा है. उसके बाद I will try to come as soon as possible. If the stream is like on 10, I'll stream till 12:30. If the stream is like if the stream starts at around 10:30, so I will stream at 1 or 2, I guess. Yes. I'll stream Valo then. If the stream starts late, I'll stream Valo. If the stream starts like early, I'll stream Genshin first. 1 hour of Genshin and then Valo. Like exploration, not any quest. I'll explore something and then directly go to Valo. चलो अभी चलते हैं, कल मिलेंगे. ठीक है, कल मिलेंगे हम. अभी चलते हैं. ठीक है, चलो. स्टे हैप्पी, स्टे सेफ. बाय बाय. सी यू ऑल टुमारो. बाय. कल मिलते हैं.